every day to the world and to your heart. Open up your eyes and let your spirit start. Say yes to the dreams you hold inside. Let your soul be your guide.
In today's complex mortgage world, finding the right direction can be challenging. That's where Lighthouse Advisors comes in. With over 25 years of experience, we provide fractional leadership and executive oversight, guiding companies through transitions, growth, and innovation. From IMBs to brokers to credit unions to tech firms, our team of seasoned professionals is here to shine a light on solutions, ensuring your business thrives in every environment. At Lighthouse Advisors, we don't just guide, we empower. Together, let's create a ripple of success across the industry. Email us today at laura@lighthouseadvisors.com.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Wednesday Wisdom. Today, we are joined by the incredible Brooke Dukes. She is the founder of BMD Consulting and a #1 international best-selling author of Burn On, Not Out, Finding Fulfillment Beyond Success. Brooke, thank you so much for joining us today. And on Wednesday Wisdom, we always like to begin with you sharing a little bit of wisdom that you have received. And we'd love to hear, what is something you learned or something that you were, maybe you read it, maybe someone you worked with, maybe someone when you were growing up said to you that really, really sat with you, that you have applied this to your life?
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me, Laura. I would say probably the most life-changing advice that I received, and it came from a few different people, but I started my career in corporate America. So I was with 3 Fortune 500 companies, moving up through executive level, and they were male-dominated industries, so tech. And being in the 90s, I'm aging myself now, but that's okay. Really, the only way to go up that ladder was to act more masculine, to really tamp down the feminine side of you. And that stuck with me for many years. And it wasn't until I was 34 years old and I was starting my own business and I started to work in more industries with other women, right? Whether they were my peers or what have you. And I noticed some really powerful women. I had I was so grateful to work with Rita Davenport from Arbonne. She was the founder of Arbonne. And so now I'm remembering, it's coming back to me. One of the things she said to me was, you have to authentically be you. You're acting in a way that isn't congruent with your nature, and it's going to hold you back in every area of your life. You have to find that power and that love for yourself and the other women in your life, because women, we are the most powerful creatures on the planet. We create
life.
Yes.
We create life.
We are masters of our emotions. What is the #1 thing in effective communication and leadership and all of that? It's all about connecting with people on an emotional level. So, long story, going back to the answer of your question was, really be authentically you. Don't act whether it's like a male or another woman, there's only one you. Be you, because that's how you attract people that are going to impact your life, the people that you're going to impact their lives. And that's how you're most successful, when you just authentically throw it out there. Who cares if people don't like it? We're not for everyone.
Well, Brooke, now I understand why you and I have connected, because the story that you just shared, my industry is mortgage, and another male-dominated industry where, again, same story, exact same story as you, right? We're coming in as a very young woman and not knowing anything different, right? We didn't know anything different. All we knew was all the executives were men, and if we're sitting around a board table or we're sitting at a certain leadership table, you said, well, if I'm the only woman sitting here, I must have to emulate and act in a certain way, maybe tone down a little of my femininity, and maybe not show as much empathy, or maybe our I'll say our women touches, right? Like there's those little things that we do that adds that extra touch, right? Maybe don't do that because it's the softer side of things, right? But yet we now know that's the key to relationships, right? And we know that by doing those things, you can bond closer with anyone, whether it's business or personal. So I love what you just said, because it's a lesson that I know I had to learn, and it sounds like you had to learn, and
Yeah.
that we have
I'm
now
learning it
gotten
every day.
yes, and we've gotten to the point that, we have so many of these great lessons that have made us who we are today, right? This is wonderful. This is where we are today. And this is why I love hearing other people's wisdom, because that wisdom, so many times, there's people out there that are like, I connect with that. I needed to hear that. I needed to understand that I'm not the only one that sometimes feel like, wait a minute, maybe I have to wear a mask, or maybe I have to do something different because I think I have to conform. But yet, to your point, our uniqueness is the greatest, brightest light there is of who we are. Oh, Brooke, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I love it. Okay. So, Brooke, you've been in leadership, obviously. You've played the corporate game. You've been an entrepreneur, all of that. Leadership, we all know, leadership is not a title at all. We all know that. It has nothing to do with the title that you're wearing across yourself, right? I really want to know, what is, you could give me one, you could give me a couple. Give me, what do you think are the most important leadership traits that you have seen?
I believe that the foundation of leadership is communication. It's being able to influence. And really, I hate the old saying, treat others the way that you want to be treated. That's ridiculous. You need to flip that. You need to treat others the way that they want to be treated. And from a leadership perspective, you need to build rapport immediately in any conversation, whether it's a subordinate, any whatever the case may be. And the best way to do that is, and one of the things that we teach in our communication code system, is to understand the need that they're asking for in that moment. And there's very easy ways. We use the 6 basic emotional needs, 4 of which are used all the time during communication, which is connection, right? Contribution, significance, and growth. So what we teach our clients are very easily to be able to pick up on those cues. And they can be physical, they can be words that you say, they can be so many things. It's not a personality test. You can be asking for growth or recognition in one moment. And, you could have been run off the road on the way to an appointment.
Right.
And your self-esteem is hit a little bit.
Right.
And so you're really looking for that certainty. And so there's various things that you can pick up on. And from a leadership perspective, you have to be able to quickly build rapport, to be able to give whoever you're speaking to certainty that what I'm going to be asking you to do, or what we're going to do together, or this goal or this task, that it's important. And here's why I'm asking you. Then you want to give them significance. You're perfect for this role because of X, Y, and Z. I see your genius.
Yeah.
I see who you can be. Then and only then can you talk to them about playing team or doing what you ask them to do. And they're doing it for their own reasons then. To your point, leadership is not a title. You want people to follow you because they understand where you're going, who you are, and they see themselves best when they're with you. You
Right.
want everyone to think that. So I believe
100%.
communication. It's the foundation of all.
Once again, you and I are fully aligned. And I want to go one step deeper on this, right? Now, again, working in corporate and all of that for most of my career, something absolutely changed when the world went remote. When it was a big, big shift of when you were in an office and everyone could hear you and you could hear them and you could see them and you could feel them, right? They were right there. You can tell if someone was shaken, right? Like the example you gave, if something happened on the way to the office, you could see immediately, oh, Brooke, are you okay? Like, and then so he'd be like, actually, no, I'm not. I just had a car accident, right? But when people went remote, that might have happened driving the child to school. They come back, they log in. You have no idea. Maybe you don't even have a meeting with that person or an interaction for hours later, but you don't understand. Maybe someone is using that monitoring system and they're tracking if someone is typing away or working in the system, and they say, wait a minute, is this person not working today? Right? So there's so much complexity to leadership now, where people are not everyone is sitting in an office together. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on taking that and adding that complexity to it.
Well, it makes it that much more important.
Yeah.
It was easier when you were in an office and you could be in someone's energy and you could see maybe their body language, or you knew more about them.
You
So
did.
leaders have to double down on honing that influence and communication skill. You have to be able to understand, and it's all about your focus. What are you focused on? Are you focused on adding value? Are you focused on the outcome of the conversation? Are you just focused on you and your needs? People feel that. They can feel that through Zoom.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can
I agree.
tell how much you care about your audience
Yeah.
and how much you are invested in your guests. I can tell that we're not in the same room, we're via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to pay attention, because effective communication, it's 55% body language.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was sitting here all slumped over and kind of looking up, how would you feel? Right?
I would say, oh my goodness, why did I reach out to Brooke?
Exactly. I mean, it's virtually impossible to be like depressed when you're smiling and like this. 38% is the tone of voice. If I was saying, Laura, you're an amazing podcast host, would you feel it? No. You'd be like, she's lying. Only 5% of the words you say.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so you've really got it's 5 or 7. My math is
Yeah.
up. You get the gist.
That's okay. It's a
Words are
small
not-
percentage.
Exactly. Words are not as important. People they're too busy thinking of themselves, thinking of what they have to do next,
Yeah.
all of that. And it's about your energy and your frequency and and you can feel that. When I've worked with salespeople, you've got to smile, who are just working on the phone, right? You have to smile. You have to sit up straight.
And you have to, if that was a not a good call right before, you can't carry that over.
No, you've got to get out of your head and into your body. We teach people to do a power move, like to get your physical and your mental in line with each other. Then what is your self-talk? Are you beating yourself up? Are you saying, no, I got this. It's okay. What can I learn from that? Boom, great. Let's move on. Power move. I got this. Let's go.
So the power move, for anyone that's just listening, is that the power move? So you like put your hands above your head?
It can be whatever you want.
Okay, so any type of power move. Okay.
Yeah. So for me, because you don't want to look like a crazy nut when you're on Zoom and you're like, we've all had that moment where we're kind of spiraling out. We get in our head and we're starting to freak out. We're like, right? And you can't sit there and immediately so I have one when I'm alone, when I'm in it and like that mouse on a wheel, right? And I can't get out of a thought. But if I'm in a meeting, I have one, I'll clench my hands.
Okay.
And my nails will go into my palms. And I have trained myself that brings me back in my body and out of my head, so that I can then regroup, refocus. Okay, what's my outcome? How can I add value here? And I move on.
Yeah, I love that. And things like that are so important. And people think those are silly exercises. Not at all.
Watch every pro athlete, they do it.
Exactly. Like, and it's funny, I'm someone that if I'm on a meeting, I agree. I'm one of those that I'm kind of under the desk, like doing something with my hands. Totally agree. But if I'm not on a meeting and I just have to I have to get up and walk away. Like I will be like, all right, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna walk away and change my environment for a second so I can come back and be fresh. But it took me a long time to learn that. Like I thought, oh no, I just have to keep grinding and grinding and hitting. And I was like, you're not doing yourself
American
any
way.
favor. You're not. So love that. Love that. Okay. Here's my last and my most favorite question. And I had said to you right before we hit play that the reason why I asked this question is you mentioned energy and things like that. And I'm a big believer that every big, hairy, audacious goal starts with saying it, with actually, making it real to whatever it is. Whether I was joking with you that I've had people wanting to climb Mount Everest, and I've had people starting nonprofits and people that want to be number one in their market. And I honestly don't see any reason why those people can't do any of those things. They didn't say anything that is not possible. But I love to hear, if I was going to take my magic wand out today and say, okay, Brooke, what is something that you would like to accomplish, whether it's personal or business, what would that be?
I want to impact 1 million people.
Ooh.
I want to teach 1 million people how their mind works and help them to deeply believe that they can create anything that they want in life. Because we can.
I agree with that.
It's all right here, right? You just have to understand how it works. Because most of the time, we're focused on what we don't want, what thoughts create, right? So there's small tweaks that people need to do and have to understand and really have it. And it all starts with belief. You have to believe that it's possible. Because that right there, if anyone, and one of the things I always tell my clients, if you're struggling in an area of your life, you have limiting beliefs in that area. Yeah. You've got to look at because half the time our beliefs aren't even ours. They're from generations past that are passed down. I encourage everyone, sit down, give yourself a few hours by yourself, uninterrupted, and just write down everything that you believe. And really, until you get it, I did that exercise years ago. I sat for 5 hours.
So wait, I want to ask a question about that. So when you say sit down and write down everything you believe, what would be an example? I believe what? Like give me an example of something.
Yes, I believe I'm an amazing coach.
Got it.
Well, the opposite of that, I don't believe that I have what it takes.
Right.
So it can be either, and you want to do it in every area of your life because they all intermingle.
Oh, yeah.
You do it in business, every area. And you'll be surprised at how many limiting beliefs come out once you get into the flow of it. And then you want to go, and you'll be surprised at how many that aren't even yours. Like, this doesn't even make sense. Where did that come from?
Right.
I don't believe that. And then you want to go back and you want to write the antithesis. If it's a limiting belief, what do you need to believe in order to become a person that can reach your goals, that can create the life that you want to live?
I love that. I love that. And again, so for the entire audience, Brooke and I have never met before today. Okay. But yet every single thing that Brooke said, you probably, at some point you could go back and hear me say everything that Brooke just said. Okay. How does that happen? How does it happen that we've never met, we've never worked with each other, we've never crossed paths other than I saw a LinkedIn post, and in that moment I said, this woman and I are aligned. And I said, I believe she's someone of value that needs to be introduced to my audience and into my network. And we never did a pre-call. We never had a discussion about anything. And here we are at the end of this. And this is someone that I could see sitting across from face to face and us going, okay, let's talk about how exciting our world is because anything is possible. And this is what I plan to do. So it's just an example of, and that is just how easy it can be in life as a whole. Number one, we were both vulnerable. We didn't know each other. We had no idea what to expect. But yet we took that opportunity of, we're like, okay, sure, why not? Right? Why not get to know another person that now we can learn more about each other? And that 100% to everyone out there, I want you to have that as your takeaway. Reach out to someone that you don't know. Reach out. Now, maybe you've seen something on LinkedIn. Maybe you've seen something on your social. Maybe you've seen something in your community and you're like, you know what? That person looks pretty cool. I'm going to introduce myself and just say hi to them. Get out of that comfort zone. Get out of just the network that you know, because there's some really amazing people out there just like Brooke. And Brooke, at that moment, I would like you to share with everyone, how can they learn more about you and what you offer?
They can go to our website at brookemdukes.com. And then I am Brooke Dukes, BROOKEDUKES, on every social media platform. So it makes it pretty easy.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to learning and seeing and connecting with you more.
Thank you.